We're now entering a moment where AI-powered robotics are starting to appear in our daily lives, whether that's at home or on factory floors. And as global tech giants compete to lead this space, Korea is emerging as a serious contender in the AI robotics race. To discuss this fascinating topic in more detail, we have Dr. HangSung in the studio. Welcome back, Dr. Kang.
Happy to be here again. I'm your science communicator, HangSung. I'm going to be enjoying with the AI conversation with you.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And we have Mr. Choi Yon-sue joining us today. He is the CFO of Robotics, the company that built a full humanoid robot in just 18 months. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here. If our robot could talk, he'd be here instead of me, but now you're stuck with the boring CFO.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. Now, Dr. Kang, let me start with you. The Neo, the humanoid robot, has been making headlines because it's only available for $499 a month, and it's set to be launched in the US next year.
Yeah.
So how big of a breakthrough is this?
Absolutely. It feels like we're living in a completely different world now as the Neo comes out. Think of it this way, the AlphaGo showed off AI brain power, so how AI brain can do something. But Neo is actually the AI brain got a physical body and moving around and walking around in your living room. So it's a whole new level of the shock, right? The real game changer, as you mentioned, like the $499 for hiring, actually you're not buying a robot for a fortune. You're just hiring $499 as like a housekeeper.
Yeah.
Think about housekeeper, like at least you have to pay
hundreds and almost thousands.
Like almost 1,000, more than 700 or 800. But you can only hiring the automated robot housekeeper or your service manager or something like that as $499. So that's a big deal. That's quite a good deal, right?
Absolutely, though. I think Neo is a very bold beta program where they're putting robots in real households. Although there are people who debate whether this is the, say, ChatGPT moment, given there's going to be teleoperators behind them. But I think still it's a very big step forward in terms of public perception on what robots can do. And by buying it, I think the customers are signing on to a social contract where they would share their data with the company, but it would be from the early adopters who are excited about the technology and want to shape where the tech goes.
Teleoperators, can you explain a little bit more about that?
Right. I think we will surely talk about this more later, but right now, most of the robots are operated by a human operator behind them through a VR glass type of thing where the human can share the vision with the robot and they can actually move it to perform tasks. And that's because right now, every robot company is trying to collect as many real-world data as possible, and this is one of the most predominant way to do so.
Yeah, so these humanoid robots, they're not just becoming more lifelike in height and physique, but they're becoming more sophisticated. They can actually carry out tasks in a very detailed way. What can they actually do? How advanced is this technology? I
think humanoids have come very far, very fast in the last couple of years especially. And I think overall there's two big schools of thought. China obviously is advancing so fast in terms of hardware and locomotion. So companies like Unitree are making robots that can actually run and with incredible stability. And you can kick the robot and
can do the kung fu, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's one school of robots that just focus very much on physical movements. And in the US, a whole different host of companies are focusing on software where they are developing AI models and systems that can understand complex, messy scenes and understand what humans want to do. I think the two schools have to come together, but right now they're independently making a huge leap forward.
Oh, okay. I can imagine physical AI robots, they have to process so much data, for example, touch, vision, sound, and almost react to it instantly. So this sounds like a massive technical challenge. How do we resolve this?
So the hype behind recent robotics, I think, has been coming from the fact that LLMs and ChatGPT have been so successful. And people are thinking that by doing the same method of building AI models that work in LLMs, we can perhaps achieve the same level of AI models that can perform out general tasks. And I think, as you pointed out, in order to perform these tasks, you need massive models, and for massive models, you need a massive set of data, and that's where the current bottleneck in robotics comes from. So I think one approach that our company, 홀리데이로보틱스, is taking is to move away from the one big brain philosophy and actually try to separate the two. So we would like to, similar to how human brains work with different regions of brain doing different things, we want to separate high-level LLMs to understand the query and plan out the sequences. But you have a very small, very specialized physical AI models that can only do each modular skills that are reusable. And by doing so, we're trying to dramatically lessen the amount of data that you need to train the model to do.
Before AI showed up into the market, or AI, just generative AI, just comes out to the in the real world, the speed of the development of the robotics before coming to the AI and after coming AI, how fast the development of the AI, the humanoid robots development, can grow?
I think it has truly been a game changer, not just in robotics, but everything that involves software, to be honest, right? But especially in robotics, because previously, if you say wanted to have a robot carry out a certain task, then you have to manually plan every step of the way, what to do first, how to move there, and then how to pick up the, say, apple, come back. And every step was a very time-consuming task that just needed a lot of PhD hours.
Right.
And I think now, so if you're talking about like the one big brain philosophy, then now one AI model is doing all of that. So the task has been, become much simpler. And even if you take, say, our approach of separating the planner and the action model, the planning part is more or less solved by the current, models like Gemini or ChatGPT. So, yeah.
Zooming out a little bit, Korea is considered as one of the most advanced countries for robotics industry in the Asia-Pacific region. Why is that?
I think it comes down to our DNA of having very high precision, high quality manufacturing. And because, Korea already has a lot of industries where we are world leading, automotive, batteries, shipbuilding, whatnot. And in each industry, obviously, the end customers demanded a lot of high quality, scalability, and reliability. And in order to meet those requirements, our manufacturers had to naturally think of ways to really become more efficient. And robotics has been one of the ways that we could compete globally so far.
Well, Dr. Kang, Korea is also said to have the highest robot density. What does this mean?
Highest robot density seems like we're living in a sci-fi movie or something like the robots are walking around the street. But that's not actually what does that means. So basically, it counts the robot density number means it counts how many robots are for every 10,000 humans, workers in the factory. So Korea is number one, actually, by far.
In the world?
In the world, by far. I mean, by a huge number of the margin. So that means the Korean factories, like making a car, making a chips, or something like that, those factories are very highly automated. So that means what it means. So robot density number is how many robots are actually working in the factory by every 10,000 humans in the factory.
So when looking at Korea's AI robot infrastructure and technology, in your opinion, which sectors do you think Korea is leading in the global arena?
We already talked at length about industrials and manufacturing, and I think my answer still points to those sectors. When it comes to deploying robots to be more effective and to add value, I think we have to be already producing goods that are, again, high value rather than something that can just be done with a lot of people. And the industries that we lead, automotive, semiconductors, batteries, all of those are such high-tech assembly lines manufacturing that you need very precise manufacturing technology. And I think that's where additional AI humanoid robots can help with having Korea maintain the lead.
Oh, okay.
Data from the last year says that that the service robot, right, and we can see that restaurants and the robot is delivering all the foods to your tables or something like that. So that service robots are way much faster growing than the industrial robots, right? Could Korea perhaps capitalize in this trend?
Absolutely. If you see, say, videos from China where there are drones delivering you food, that's pretty amazing. And I think Korea can absolutely do that, and I think we are doing that already in terms of deploying service robots. While we talked about industrials and manufacturing, if you look at how many people are actually working in different sectors and industries, services, obviously, restaurants, hospitality, clinics, small and medium businesses, there are so many people employed there doing a lot of physical labor. So obviously there's a lot of demand for robots come in and lessen the pressure where possible. And personally, I think it's still very early in the game, so it's a bit premature on what sectors will be leading in terms of, say, industrial services and whatnot. But I think, nevertheless, it's a very good sign that there's demand coming from all over the industries, and that's a really good news for robotics industry as a whole.
Well, another good news is the Korean government plans to invest over 10 trillion won into physical AI next year. But Korea's robotic ecosystem is led mainly by large conglomerates like Samsung, LG, Hyundai Motor. So from a startup perspective, what are the pros and cons of this structure?
I think we're lucky to have such powerhouses in the country that's doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it's for conglomerates. They can absolutely excel in, say, long-term R&D or building out industry infrastructure that no single startup can do, or leading collaborations across government, industry, and different suppliers all across. I think one thing that startups may be better at is when it comes to these innovative technologies, you sometimes have to take risks and really move fast. Yeah. And I think those are the areas that large corporates naturally lag a little bit. And I think when we have these big conglomerates with the backing of the Korean government, along with the startups leading the way, I think we'll have a Korea as powerhouse in terms of robotics and physical AI.
안녕하세요. 저는 홀리데이로보틱스의 대표이사를 맡고 있는 송기영입니다. 2024년 4월에 설립이 되었고요. 휴머노이드 로봇을 개발하는 회사입니다. 이 스타트업을 처음 시작하면서 이제 스타트업 시절에도 많은 이제 우여곡절을 겪었는데 이 휴머노이드라고 하는 이 새로운 로봇 기술에 대해서 어떻게 상용화할지 그런 고민들이 좀 예전에 고민하던 것들하고 굉장히 이제 비슷하다 보니까 그런 부분에서 이제 큰 도움이 되었고요.
대부분의 로봇들은 이제 손가락을 움직이는 모터가 손 안에 직접 들어가 있습니다. 그렇게 되면은 손가락의 자유도를 늘리기 위해서 손의 모터 개수를 추가해야 되는데 이것이 모터의 구조적인 제약 때문에 힘듭니다. 반면 저희 프라이데이 로봇은 손가락을 구동시키는 모터들이 모두 몸통 내부에 위치하고 있고 몸통과 이 손가락 사이를 유압 실린더로 연결을 해서 유압으로 동력 전달을 하는 방식을 사용하고 있습니다. 이 경우에는 저희가 원하는 개수의 만큼 모터의 개수를 증가시킬 수도 있고 또 원하는 힘만큼을 모터에게 인가할 수도 있습니다. 이를 통해서 저희 프라이데이 로봇은 사람과 같은 고자유도의 손을 가질 수도 있고 또 사람과 같은 반응성을 가지고 다재다능한 작업을 할 수도 있습니다.
일단 저희가 팔이랑 이제 손이 전체적으로 좀 가볍기 때문에 로봇이 아무리 빠른 동작에서 사람이 옆에 다가가도 안전할 수 있도록 만들었고요. 역구동이 되기 때문에 사람과 부딪혔을 때 스스로 멈출 수 있고 또 스스로 순응할 수 있도록 제작을 하였습니다.
So let's talk about Holiday Robotics. Holiday Robotics managed to roll out this humanoid robot Friday in less than 2 years after its founding. That's pretty incredible. How did that happen?
Yeah, we ourselves think that this was an impressive speed as well. We actually released our robot Friday in less than 12 months since our seed funding. So 6 months after founding, but 12 months since seed funding. And I think that comes down to the factors that you mentioned earlier. It's about speed and the talent density. And I dare say that our team, a team of 28 people as of today, are of the highest quality and of the highest density in terms of robotics and AI engineering, PhDs from every field that you need to focus on in terms of building a full humanoid robot. And we also, by design, is moving very fast in terms of decision makings and how individual contributor is making decisions real time and having it tied back to our goal of building one integrated humanoid robot.
Wow. So your robot Friday, how like a range of the task can do with its hand?
Right. So we're trying to, I guess, replicate our human body, but obviously it's a very difficult job, right? So each hand right now has 20 degrees of freedom, and it's covered with dense tactile sensors, which means that our robot can feel force or touch with most of its hand. And by utilizing that, we can obviously pick up and move stuff, stabilize, use tools such as screwdriver or wrench. And we are continuing to add skills to our library, but we hope to achieve tasks that are pretty much used every day in, say, real factory workers, such as, again, moving, using tools to drill stuff, balancing things, and so forth.
So it's like AI in physical form, physical AI. So you're not only telling AI what to do, there should be no human intervention, ideally.
Ideally, you will still manage, fleet and, tell which one to go where and do what. But I think once you start the job process, and by job, I guess like a big job descriptions that you'd give to humans, from there, these robots in near future would carry out these tasks autonomously without human intervention.
Right. So we're still relying on teller operators, but in the future, what is the next level of physical AI?
So one thing that our company is focusing on and is really betting heavily on is that we don't want to use teleoperators. We intentionally separate our AI brain into two parts so that we only need much smaller set of data and mostly in simulations. So you wouldn't need to have humans operate on behind of these robots. Right now, even with that, you would have LLMs or you would have AI models plan out what's called behavior tree on what to do first when it comes to doing certain jobs. For example, say when you want a robot to go and pick up coffee, like the big brain would make a sequence of different skills, starting with locating the coffee, moving there, picking up coffee, coming back, and placing. And right now, these tasks are only broken into rather simpler tasks, such as grab coffee, pick up apple, or move box A from B. But in coming times, these jobs would become longer horizon jobs and be more encompassing in terms of including very small and unexpected jobs as well. Because I think as a factory worker, when you go into the setting, you have your main duty, but I'm sure there are various unexpected things that you have to do, like holding doors, picking up stuff when it falls down on floors. And we hope to manage all of those by our AI model as well in coming times.
So instead of having a to-do list, it's more like notice and do.
Do something, right.
Do something before I tell you to do something. I mean, that sounds incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the name of your robot. So you launched the industrial robot named Friday. And I look into your website and then I found that the interesting name sequences.
Right.
So your next level, which is the service robot, the name is Saturday, and the home robot is Sunday.
Personally, I enjoy Friday nights the most, but I think the thinking behind, the philosophy behind our naming is that it's very simple. We want to give people more weekends, and we start with Friday, and potentially in the future, Saturday and Sunday. And as we broaden our coverage into manufacturing, into service and home, we want people to do less repetitive, boring, and physically demanding labor and spend time where it really matters. And by naming our company holiday and naming our robots these days of the weekends, I think it's a reminder to ourselves that building these robots isn't about replacing people, but it's rather about giving people more time that they can spend elsewhere.
More freedom to do what you love.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Korea wants to shift from just a manufacturing robot producer, leader, to a leader in AI robotics. So how will Holiday Robotics stand up to this challenge?
Right. As we all know, Korea has been so great at hardware, making stuff. And I think now the time of physical AI is coming. We have to excel in terms of building AI models and software as well. I think if we are successful in rolling out Fridays onto real manufacturing floors and really start to deliver value to our customers, it could be a testament to every Korean company that we now can do well in both manufacturing as well as software, and that Korea as a country can lead the world in terms of physical AI.
Wow, a turnkey nation of physical AI. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your insights with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me here. It's been a pleasure.
Well, that's all for today. Join us again next time as I return with Dr. Kong to sit down with another leader shaping Korea's AI future. Thanks for watching.